Renee, Chris, and Ryan going live. Best podcast, Beauty and the Beast. Sit back and catch a vibe. Oh yeah, we talking zombies and apocalypses and all those things you like. Going beast mode, and if you didn't know, it's Peter Z up on the mic. Whoa, hey, TWD family, grab the snacks about the pantry and subscribe and like if you can, please. Or those walkers eat you like some candy. Hey, okay. You at the right place at the right time. No one does it better, that's the bottom line. Beauty and the Beast, this is prime time. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, we're live. Just like that.
Oh,
Yay!
hola,
And you did it.
Just like magic. And you know what? And of course, okay, yeah, no, it's working. All right, we're good. For a second, the audio did not look like it was working.
we're okay.
And I would have panicked because it happened once before when it was Renee and I, and then we were talking for like 5 minutes, and then finally someone said something, and...
Oh, I remember that show.
Hmm.
It was like 2 shows ago.
Yes.
Not like show, but show before.
Yeah, it was great.
Yep.
Yeah. Now I've got a whole mental checklist that I go through.
Yeah. Well,
Good.
You know, trial and error. Wow. So we finally have the four amigos back together.
Right.
It's been a bit.
It has. How have you guys been?
Busy.
Yeah, I see that.
Mm-hmm. Busy. We got the Easter Bunny here.
Yeah.
Hi, Easter Bunny.
How about you?
But yeah,
Meg?
no,
How have you
things
been?
are good. Things are good. No, nothing to complain about.
Well, that's good. No,
Yeah.
things have been same old here, just in my crazy season at work.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. What about you, Renee? How's things down there?
Sunshiny and warm and
I had a finger available, I'd join in.
I got you, Chris.
there you go. Meg got it for you. Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. My mom's house is almost done, so that's exciting.
Oh, great.
So yeah. But yeah, it's good living, that's all. Yeah. What about you, Ryan?
I am bitter and angry, and we had a week of 70 degrees. I thought, wow,
Oh.
spring came early. It was beautiful.
I miss it so much.
And then
See,
swept away
even
from
Molly's
us.
flipping you off, Renee.
I just was gonna say, so Chris, Meg, you have to meet my friend Molly. She's in the chat, and Molly listens. I did not know this till just like 2 episodes ago. Molly listens to every single episode, has never watched The Walking Dead, like doesn't even care.
How does
Because-
that work out, though?
Because she's my friend, and that's what she does.
Camera's doing a weird
Yeah, I was
thing.
gonna say you're floating.
No,
So-
it does this thing where it like centers me no matter where I am, and I can't turn it up. I don't know how.
But yeah, so anyways, I just found out recently that Molly, our husbands own their business together, and then Molly works for them, and now I started working for them too. So we're all like this big happy family. But but anyway, yeah, I just found out recently about that. So we've been giving Molly shout outs, and because it's just awesome.
Oh.
All right.
I think we should give her the best episodes to watch if you just want to watch the entire thing.
Yeah.
Like the top 10 episodes to watch.
Or
I would
we
just
could
say
do- or we
watch.
could do
I
better
would
yet.
say watch the first full season. I don't know.
I'd say like the
No.
first 4 seasons.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then just stop and then come back at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
And then watch the spinoffs.
I would say watch up until the Saviors and then stop and then come back to it.
Hmm.
So like
6,
season 7 premiere.
Seven?
7, yeah, 7.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Or we could just
And
do
then just
like
read a
th-
recap for the other seasons.
We could just do like a 3-hour show where we just
Go through them all for
describe it horribly.
Mhm.
Do you ever see those things where they show like 1 second per episode? That's what we need to do.
Yeah.
We'll catch Molly up really quick.
Right.
Okay, so back in 2010,
There was this guy. He shot a girl who was holding a stuffed bunny. And then
and then all hell broke loose. That's all you need to know.
yeah,
What
he did.
So obviously, like, look, I've been watching, but like I said, it's it's at the end of the day, and I'm shot. But the 3-year timeline that they went with Father Gabriel meeting up with Jadis.
Mhm.
It goes back. It says 3 years. So I know we're 8 years ahead, right? So is this saying that 5 years after they started meeting
Well,
up?
we're 8 years ahead from the bridge.
Right.
So is this
So
before
that's just like-
or
So this is
after
3 years
World
ago,
Beyond?
right? They say 3 years ago they started at 3 years ago
Yeah.
they meeting up.
Yeah. So 5 years after the
So
bridge
5 years
collapsed?
after the bridge.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Correct.
Yeah, I know can we go forward this many, go back this many, go
Yeah.
But how does it fit with World Beyond though? Like, was this before? Because I was trying to read something, but I couldn't really understand it.
I think this would have been after. I think that World Beyond would have happened in that 5 years. Would it not?
Well,
I think so.
it was within that because we when we were watching World Beyond, Omaha was destroyed, and we saw that in The Ones Who Live.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so it is.
So
post-
it's right
So it's
around.
happening at the same time. That
Yeah,
makes
Okay.
sense. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Mhm.
Yeah, because Omaha.
yeah,
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
yeah. But it's very confusing, and I
Yeah.
give big props to all these people. There's several outlets who have like the chronological, like even with all of this the series, they'll tell you which episodes in which order. It's like I don't know.
I
How
love those.
I love it. I mean, like I would never have the patience to do all that, but it's very interesting so that you can see. Okay, Walking Dead did this, but Fear was doing this, and da da da. You know, back and it's very in depth.
But it's hard
Next
too
time
because
you-
oh, sorry, go ahead, Meg.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's hard too because there's been seasons, there's been events, there's been shows that have not clearly defined it.
Right.
You
Mhm.
know,
Right.
and it makes it damn near impossible. I mean,
Yeah.
even the end of The Walking Dead, we weren't 100% positive what the final time jump was.
Well, it said 1 year. It said 1 year. That last
Oh
one.
yeah,
is a
that's
year
right.
later. Mhm.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's what I was trying to clarify. The 3 year
From
3
the
years
Commonwealth
ago.
when they took over the Commonwealth until like all that
No,
was.
no. I understand that, but I'm saying
Oh.
from the start of The Walking Dead to the very end, do we know exactly how many years that was? Is what I mean.
Oh.
They go by Judith's age,
Yeah,
Oh, that's
because
true.
she was born in season 3.
Yeah, that's true.
but she was.
And
But that was only. So she was pregnant with her soon. So like, how Rick was in a coma for was it
6 months.
6 months. Okay.
Yeah.
So he was in a coma for 6 months, and then sometime in that period is when she got pregnant.
Mhm.
I think
and
they said
then-
from the pilot to the beginning of season 3, it was maybe like a year and a half.
Yeah. Well,
Less than that, probably.
yeah, probably less because she was only pregnant 9 months.
Right, but
But-
if you include the 6 months that he was in a coma.
Yeah. Right.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
anyway, that's yeah.
Oh, okay, that
So-
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of the gauge that we've always used is that Judith because she was born as big, early on.
Yeah.
So
Then you have that big gap from when we had baby Judith to the Judith that we know.
because that was like about 6 years, I believe. Well, I forget. I think that was 6 years. So that's the thing. It gets all.
I just
So
wish they would have
confusing.
given us definitive days. Like they would have been
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh, this is like March 24th,
Yeah.
2018. Like
Yeah.
Yeah. Or even if they would just give a basic 5 years after.
Well,
Yeah.
if you go to the Walking Dead wiki, again, whoever does that
Oh,
is
I love that page.
those people, man, I tell you, whoever does all that editing, bravo. I use that for lots of research because sometimes I'm like, I don't remember this or whatever, but there is a chronological kind of better, like you can kind of they've pieced it together very well and they know their stuff. Whoever, I don't know how many people put that together, put the
Yeah.
information on there, but they do a wonderful job.
If you go on that page, though, be prepared to spend at least a half hour on there.
Oh,
You
easy.
kind of go down the rabbit hole.
Oh, this, and then they'll show a picture on the side. Oh my God,
Yeah.
I forgot about that person. Yeah.
Open up a new tab, and then, yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, it really is like in depth. Like
Yeah.
the virus becomes a global pandemic on August 25th, 2010, and like
Yep. No, it is thorough.
it tells
And
you
they
like
and
the
they
episodes,
research
too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, you can't believe the detail that they do on there. And like I said, I don't know how many people contribute to it, but they are on it.
Holy shit.
It's incredibly impressive.
Mm. But anyway, we're here to talk about episode.
Yeah, sorry. Wow, that
5.
was.
No,
See,
it's
he went
okay.
down the rabbit hole.
This is all good.
I was
this
already
is
reading
good.
it. I'm like, damn. On August 25th, when the outbreak happened, that was the day that like Lucille was gonna kill Negan and whatever the fuck, and I'm like, oh, that's right, that did happen. Holy shit.
I know
So
that.
on August 25th, we have to say Happy Outbreak Day.
Oh,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But that's the thing. It's really interesting on that because you see those things because you forget. Oh, we didn't see that till season 10,
Yeah.
but it happened here, And so, yeah, it is. It's fascinating because, especially for all of us Walking Dead geeks who got to know all that stuff, It's like we want to know all the things.
I'm gonna read this shit.
And you will be reading and reading, and you're gonna come back to us. You're like, you guys know what I read?
Right.
Did you know that this was happening at the same time as that? And then
Yeah. So
we're gonna
it's
quiz
awesome.
him.
Yeah, we'll be quizzing you. But anyway, The Ones Who Live, episode 5.
Not everybody lived.
Well, what do you think overall?
So the first half was very much like honeymoon phase, and I loved it because we never really got to see much of that side of Rick and Michonne during the show. But then, just as in typical Walking Dead nature, all hell broke loose, and so I was like sitting at like the edge of my seat, like what's gonna happen? But I kind of knew what was gonna happen.
What about you, Ryan?
I loved it. I honestly didn't think that like each episode was gonna get better and better, and it really did that for me. I think it was funny. I'm gonna pull up the message because I texted Renee at like early in the morning, and it was like 7 a.m. And I was like, I'm just watching the episode now, and I can't believe the hooded figure was Gabriel. Oh my god! And
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, and I texted Renee and I said, ... I'm assuming you watched it already.
Because this was like Monday or whatever, right?
Yeah, it was Monday, yeah. And
imagine if she hadn't seen it yet. I mean, we know she did, but like,
and I said, God, I'm such a sucker for Gabus, or is it Jadriel?
Yeah.
What would their ship name be?
I don't know. It's difficult. We can use Anne.
Like shown,
Well, you could use Anne, yeah.
Anne might be easier.
Do we go with Anne, Jadis, like?
But then it would be like Gan.
Gan.
I was thinking Gan.
Gan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jabriel. Or something like that. You could do for Jadis, you could use Jabriel.
Yeah, that's Ryan. That's what So anyway,
and then I was like, I want them to work it out, but Jadis is fucking it all up. And then
I'm just like,
that was hold on, that was at 7:34 a.m. and then at 8:07, so 33 minutes later, I go, I can't believe Jadis fucking died. ...
And I was so glad I didn't see, like, when he first texted, it sounded like I was just glad I didn't say any more because I just remember what I can't remember what I replied, but I just whatever, and I thought in my brain, I'm like, oh wait a minute, I bet he's watching it right now, and then he says something else. I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I didn't say anything else.
So
I could have spoiled the whole thing.
What do you think about that? Oh, sorry, Ray, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, good talk.
Oh no, I mean, as a whole, I thought it was really good. I think the cinematography in this one, I enjoyed a lot, especially towards the end when they're hunting her down. At the end of the episode, when they're in that building, they have a really cool overhead shot of them kind of going side by side through everything, and it's a nice shot above, giving like this, just a different view of things. But I thought it was really cool because you got to see them operate together in sequence. Through that whatever type. I just thought like the cinematography was really cool. A lot of they added a lot of different aspects to it. Obviously they had a lot of catching up to do with the relationship. They definitely been showing a lot of the sexy time. And I think kind of like with Ryan, like I was expecting Jadis and Gabriel to have a moment, but she definitely screwed that up. but overall, I thought it was like this whole series has been very solid. Like, I've only been able to watch every episode once to like compare it to my traditional 2 or 3 times. But yeah, like I said, this episode I think had a lot of cool cinematography stuff that they did. It was different, which I always like to look for when the episodes, just to see like what kind of like new element they try to add. And they've been showing, like what I picked up on is they've been showing a lot of showing how since they've been back together, how well they operate as a team. From killing sequences and everything, how it's coordinated, how they have that chemistry where it's coordinated. Each one knows who's going to do what next. And I just thought that scene alone, that overhead pan and watching them move, in kind of like a rhythm, I thought was like just another really good look at them, as their characters to see how well they operate together. So, yeah, I mean, but other than that, it was great to, in my opinion.
I love the callbacks because the beginning of the episode reminded me of that. I think it was in season 7 when they went to that broken down carnival when they were out scavenging. And then when Jadis found them in the bed together, it reminded me when they can my phone stop doing or camera stop doing this? With Jesus when they got out of bed naked. Call back.
Well, it's funny you said it because actually the very first opening scene before they show Gabriel, it's his feet, and his legs walking through. But that angle and that camera view of the woods, and even the like the setting, like the time of day and everything, I feel like if you screenshot that and put it side by side to Michonne's entrance shot, Michonne's entrance shot's a little bit darker just because she's all in black and they have everything silhouetted behind her with the walkers. But that wooded scene and the way the camera angles up this way is I'm like, I want to do it. I want to take like side by side shots and put them next to each other because I literally was like, wait, am I watching Michonne show up again? Like, what's like, was waiting for her to appear again with the 2 walkers. But yeah, I just kind of felt like, to me, that setting, the angle of the camera, and that the forest background and everything like that, it just reminded me of her entrance to the show. So I thought that was pretty cool.
What I got a question for everybody. What did you think of Tasteful Nudes? Are you a fan of them?
I thought that was hilarious.
The look on Chris's face just
I missed something, didn't I?
That's the name of the noodles.
Ramen.
Ramen noodles.
Oh, I was like, wait, what? Okay. I didn't pick up on that.
Yes.
They happen and I'm just watching.
I thought it was hysterical when they gave the noodles to that group, and then they tried to rob them and they failed horribly at it. And the one guy was like, "Man, I was really looking forward to those."
And Michonne's like, "They don't get noodles.
Yeah.
They don't deserve them."
That was so fun. And Rick was like, "I didn't expect you to say that." And she's like, "Well,
They just seemed so mellow during that whole situation. I was like, this is not the Rick and Michonne that we're used to. Like, I love this new version.
It was savage because like they were just like, "There's not too late to turn back time." And there's no time for
roll back or
roll back. Yeah, we want to roll this back, and I
want to start using that phrase.
Yeah,
right? And it was just so funny. And then I'm sitting there going, "You guys fucked up. You probably picked 2 of the worst people to fuck with in the apocalypse."
Yeah, like, absolutely.
All right,
absolutely.
All right, Red. Whatever you say, Red.
Yeah.
Red's Red Revolver.
Yeah, it was Red, wasn't it?
Red,
yeah. Yeah, of course, it's funny that, the way it's written, and we know that, they're supposed to come across people, but it's just like, out of this whole world, out of the whole forest, our 2 people end up falling into some shit with some people they don't know, and it's just like, of course they would, of course they would bump into people in the middle of nowhere in gigantic fucking universe.
I think it was important though, because the first 4 episodes was about Michonne and us as the viewer believing that Rick lost himself, believing that Rick really had fallen too far from grace. And Michonne had said something to him in the cabin, where she said, like, see, I knew you were in there somewhere, or she said she hinted at like the fact that like I knew you like the way you were acting was a show. Like I knew that like my real husband was in there somewhere,
Right.
and that was like that whole thing, the thing in the woods. That was showing that Rick is still there. That like you know, you could beat him down, you could do whatever you want, but like at the end of the day, he's still gonna show up and shut shit down. Like that's just that's who he is.
Yeah.
And I think that was why that scene was important.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, and I know that when you go to the scene with Jadis and them in the cabin, I know that she's not supposed to shoot them because they're.
Wow, suspense! I like it.
Have a little bit better aim.
That cliffhanger, though.
Chris, you froze so bad there, and the last thing we saw was you had your hand up, and you were just frozen.
Oh. Well, yeah, no, you were frozen.
Oh, well,
we were all frozen, I think, at one point. But I just, we just go.
We let it rock.
Yeah, but yeah, I was just kind of like, damn, Jadis, you suck. Like, two people in a bedroom and you couldn't shoot them. And then you get hit with a fucking bed.
Yeah.
I think it's important to note that Jadis, or Anne, or whatever you want to call her, that she is first and foremost a survivor. She is going to do what she has to do to survive. And Rick and Michonne being alive right now and not being captured is a risk to everything that she needs to survive.
Oh, sure. Yeah, she says it. She's like, you two together are unstoppable.
Yeah.
And the fact that if the CRM found out that like the exact history of them and not only just Rick and Michonne, but like Rick, Michonne, and Jadis, that would have been detrimental to everything that she had built up with the CRM. And she was not willing to compromise that for anybody. And she pretty much said that when she was dying, and she was talking about the fact that she was trying to keep options open with Rick's group, but also the CRM, and she didn't want to lose one and then have no place in the world, essentially. And I think that's why she was acting so dramatic or so drastically, and all of us were kind of just like, just fucking go with him, help him, But I think in her eyes, she was trying to bet on the winner. Like, she was trying to bet on the people she expected most likely to win, and that was the CRM.
And that's how Jadis has always been. She's flipped sides numerous times because it, whatever benefits her and her group or whatever. So that's exactly her, how she's been through since we've met her.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even when her talks with Gabriel, I think it's this, maybe it's still in the third 3-year cutback that we were talking about that they do. Because I was trying to figure that out, like the 3-year, 2-year, where that actually fell. But in their talks, he is so persistent in trying to get her back, to come back. And, everything that she's doing is just for survival at this point with the CRM. Like, that's it. Like, survive and see, and see what that place can become for the world, I guess, so to speak.
And I think those time jumps, I think that was very interesting to see that each year they met, she was very different with him from what she is as Jadis, warrant officer for the CRM. Very different with him, more relaxed and more open. But each year that passed, she became like more integrated into that lifestyle to where she was ready to shoot him to keep her secret safe, kind of thing. She couldn't have any loose ends and things. So I just thought that was an interesting progression to watch. The first time they met, where she was like, I've been wanting to find you and this and that. And by the end, she's ready to kill him. So I thought that's just kind of to show her loyalty and how it grew over the years.
And so the ring on that he found that, was supposed to be for Rick and stuff, when he hands that to her, like, did you take that as like him kind of like promising himself to her, or? I
thought it was more, I think he said something about just that she could have faith. And so I feel like, maybe it was kind of that, but I feel like more than that, he just wanted her to know that he's always there and to have faith in like what they have together, whatever that is, these 1-year meetings. But but maybe it meant more. I'm not sure.
Okay. All right.
But that was a cool story, though. See, I love this. That's another thing all of these series have given us these really fun little tidbits that we wouldn't know otherwise. And so I really enjoyed that. All of the new series have done that with different things. But of course, that story, none of us would have ever known that Rick was ready to marry. I mean, I guess I always assumed they were just married. That's I just always said that was their husband and wife, but that he actually wanted to have a ceremony, on the bridge, which was really cool to learn.
Remember, like a year ago, I was like, "Oh, I'm not looking forward to this one. I don't want to watch it." This has become my favorite one by far. It's just so well executed.
Well, but I mean, you got to remember too, like it probably wouldn't be this way if they weren't involved as much as they are, because they're heavily involved in it, and they made it that way because they were not about to put anything with their names on it out there that wasn't worth the people's time.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I'm super that alone lets us know, the fan, that this had no other choice but to be successful, in my opinion, because they're the cream of the crop when it comes to the show. They weren't. And this is, look, I'm trying to do shots fired, but this wasn't about to be like Fear the Walking Dead. Like it wasn't gonna.
No, you're right.
So, but
the group, the stragglers that they helped, I felt really bad for the girl.
Yeah,
because she was being tugged in every direction, every encounter that we saw her, and then the fact that she got bit. Oh man, my heart broke for her.
She was the first one to get bit too.
Yeah,
and then the two guys went to go save her.
Yeah.
It was fucked up. She should have escaped if she could have. But
yeah.
I honestly thought that for a second, not for the entirety, but for a second, I thought she was going to survive, and I thought the two guys were going to get killed, and then I thought she was going to go with Rick and Michonne.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, like maybe this is going to be a character that, might be of some importance at some point, and she got bit. I was like, well, fuck that. All right, cool. Great.
See, I thought through the whole thing, they just keep killing everyone off because Rick and Michonne can't have baggage trying to get back to the CRM. How are they going to do that? Rick's he's already tricked everybody with Michonne. Oh yeah, she's my prisoner. I don't know this person, kind of thing. Dana, right? Is that her name? And that kind of stuff. So I just feel like they just keep doing that. These characters are serving a purpose, and then we're done. Which is unfortunate, especially for the ones Aiden and Bailey and Nat. I would really wish they all would have survived, or at least some of them, because they were really interesting.
But it makes sense why they had it.
Exactly, because how is
Nat,
she?
I think Nat had the biggest impact.
Yeah.
Because that was the way that they explained that. Oh, he attacked the CRM soldiers, and Dana was an unfortunate victim in this whole thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I think maybe it was less thinking and more maybe hoping. You know what I mean? Because I'm always thinking like the goods of the community, and she clearly seems like a good person trying to get a bad situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. But I thought it was very weird. My grind your guts moment is, why are these walkers so quiet? Like no one knows they're sneaking up on them.
The calcified ones, right?
All of it. Like even in the visitor center, they were in that visitor center, and the one sneaks up on Jadis. I mean, I know she stood there for the ones because she was wanting Michonne to kill them. She's like, oh, that they bite me, then the dossier will be found, blah blah blah. But then that one that snuck up on her, it's like, how did that happen? They're not quiet, so anyway.
I didn't understand. I mean, I understood from a writing standpoint why, when the one walker was coming up behind Jadis, why she didn't move. I get what the point that she was trying to prove, but I think in a real situation, I don't think her character would have done that. Because her character is all about survival. That is an unnecessary risk.
That
was, to me, that was very odd.
I think it was just, she was confident Michonne would kill them. But I mean,
that's a pretty big gamble. When you're talking about Michonne's looking at the one person who stole her husband from her for 8 years.
But also the person who has the key to keeping her children safe.
Yeah.
True.
So it's a, I mean, I can see
It's a
both sides.
catch-22.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's, I think, valid on both sides there with that. But I was really sad to see Jadis go, because I've enjoyed her, even though she's always been a bad guy, it's just been just really cool to see her progression and see all that. Like, I mean, how many integral things she has been involved in. I mean, she was the one, trading people. She was the one, she was doing all these. She's always flip sides. I say she's flip sides more times than she's gotten another bad haircut, and she, just is always doing whatever is best for Jadis, And in a Survivor atmosphere like this, I suppose the majority of us would be, especially people that are assertive and are going to be survivors. You have to do what you have to do to protect yourself, your family, your group, whatever it is. But I just think that she's been a very fascinating character. I was really, when I was watching World Beyond, I was so excited that it was her that came back. It was like, I think we all thought it probably was going to be her. I believe, I just can't remember exactly, but it was just perfect. And to learn more. And then, she never said Rick's name, but we got that clarification there that I had, someone of importance, blah, blah, and we're all like, we know who you're talking about,
Yeah.
And, on one hand, she did steal Rick away from Michonne, from his children and all this stuff, but she also saved his life. And I know it's not his ideal of life, but she saved his life, because who knows, I don't know. It's just hard to say what would have happened, And so anyway, because even if Daryl or Michonne or someone found him on that riverbank, would they have had the technology? We don't know what injuries he had. Would they have had the resources to, help him get
injuries,
treated? Yeah. So, it's not to say she's a good person by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
But it's just been so much fun to see her and see Pollyanna she just does such a phenomenal job. Each personality she's taken on, from Jadis and, warrant officer and all this stuff. So I just really enjoyed her, storyline. And I mean, she made a great end and everything. And I loved it when she, told Rick to keep his promise, and it was so, it was just very well done. I loved it. I hated to see her go, but I thought it was very well done.
Plus, she's the only Walking Dead alum to span three shows.
Yeah.
And,
Nope. Rick actually did too. He was in Fear the Walking Dead for an episode.
So was Carol. So was Tom Payne. But they didn't have, that doesn't count, because they didn't have significant roles. Everyone says that all the time. And I'm like, they literally spoke a sentence. That's not a role. You weren't cast in that.
Okay, then
So I think that's, to a point, it's valid. But Jadis was like a character in each one of the episodes, like multiple. I mean, she had a significant storyline.
She had impact on all three storylines.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about Rick and Jesus and them. They didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So
anyway, I will say she's the only one that's had significant storylines, because, like you said, they have, they've appeared, and but I love that. I mean. Yeah. Anyway, I just think she just did a fabulous job. So and I'm so excited, because for the camp, I already was putting her with Seth for a panel, because I was going to ask her. Why Jadis took his name. So we already have this plan. I already have on my list of who I'm trying to pair up, and those two, I will figure out how to pair those two up.
Absolutely.
That question needs to be answered.
Yeah. I think, besides her, having a very extended role in three universes, basically in the same universe, but three shows out of it. I think more than anything, she's probably very happy that she doesn't have to have this haircut anymore. I mean,
in an interview, she commented about that.
It's awful. Like, granted, that was a good 2-season show. That was actually very good, I thought. But I mean, if you're gonna go out with Rick and Michonne.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, make it more impactful.
Yeah,
memorable.
There's a really cool behind the scenes photo of her at her death scene, kind of like she's like laying, chilling.
Yeah.
And the two walkers behind her posing with her. It was actually really cool behind the scenes.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
the two of those straggler people, whoever they were. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really cool. I saw she had posted some, and I think Denai posted some, and that. So
Yep.
yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So, yeah, I mean, and then it sucks. We only have one episode to go, and so much has to happen. And
I know it.
Do we know if it's an extended episode?
I don't think so. It isn't. They've.
Yeah, I think it's only. I mean, from what I've seen, it's only going to be like what a 57-minute runtime or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is only 4 minutes longer than what this week's episode was.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I'm scared.
I know. So much has to happen. So much has to happen.
Now, did they confirm that it is ending with this, or are they? Cause I heard that they're like teasing.
They just keep teasing. Scott Gimple just keeps teasing everybody. I think.
Of course.
I've said this before the show ever started, before they even announced the, premiere date, anything like that. I think Michonne's going to die or something bad's going to happen to her, which is going to make Rick, want the CRM. It's going to be, CRM involved somehow. And then because Andrew Lincoln seems to be more open to doing more something, but Denai's got other stuff going on. And I think she's done. That just things, little things she said in interviews and things, like even prior to the show, she was very adamant in one interview, and I can't remember where this was, but I just remember her being pretty adamant that this is a one and done kind of thing. But again, this is The Walking Dead, so who knows? Yeah. So, but that's just my theory, because then that would, whether they kill her or just something happens and she goes wherever, I don't know. Yeah. But because if they killed her, the fandom would lose their ever-loving minds.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Because we don't kill off major characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I would love for it to continue, but at the same time, I really hope it ends. Because if they get to escape and go back to Alexandria, then that's it. It's the perfect end to the story. And we just know they live happily ever after.
That's a lot to wrap up in 50 minutes, though.
That's why I'm concerned that I don't think that's going to happen.
To do it justice, but here's the thing: this entire
guys, I'm gonna mute myself because I got someone getting a little out of control.
Right.
So I'll hopefully be back.
Okay.
You have Daryl Dixon. You have Dead City. You have The Ones Who Live. And all three of those shows have brought back, in my opinion, what we love about The Walking Dead. They have done everything right and very little wrong. And everything that has been written seems very intentional. And it seems like it's leading up to a bigger story, in my opinion. For them to end probably the biggest threat we've seen on Walking Dead to date, CRM, to end that in the next 50 minutes, in my opinion, would not do it justice. And you know what? If you had asked me, are they going to end this storyline in one more episode? If you had asked me that question before Dead City, Daryl Dixon, and The Ones Who Live came out, I would say probably. I would not have had faith. But seeing how well the writers have been doing and how intentional everything has been, and the fact that they're including the actors and actresses as writers, I don't think so. I think it's going to be a major cliffhanger. I don't know if we're going to get another season of The Ones Who Live. My opinion has always been that we are going to get some kind of teaser at the end of the episode for a different show that's going to tie up a lot of the story. And it's going to involve other characters, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
This is reminding me of the first phase of the MCU. You have all these different things, and then you have the Avengers where they all team up. I mean, I'm not saying that they're gonna team up all together, but it's just the teasing and the sprinkling. That's just what it's reminding me of.
Mm-hmm.
I said something very similar. I think it was last week, Renee, about this.
And I said I don't want
Avengers Endgame finale.
I'm like, no. I do not want
damn it.
No.
And
nobody's blipping.
Yeah. Well, and the thing where I've said this, I don't know, several times. The only problem with this whole everybody wanting this big reunion, it's people already have in their minds what they want it to be. They want it to be The Walking Dead, the early episode. They want that. It's never going to be that because that was new. That was unique. That was all these things that you can't get back because we've already gone 14, whatever years, you know, how 14 years, you know? And so you can't ever get that exact thing back, and that's what people want. And I'm not opposed. Seriously, out of all the cameos that could have happened in this series, I think Father Gabriel was the brilliant choice. Yep. He's never really been like this huge favorite character. I mean, Seth's a great guy, you know. Yeah, he's awesome. But Gabriel, I mean, I appreciate his, you know, his transformation. Absolutely, he's one of the best transformations in the series. And, you know, there's so many things. So he is up there with one of my very well-liked characters just because of all that he did and, you know, became this, you know, force within our group. And, then, you know, he ends up taking care of baby Coco and everything. You know, it's, you know, that's such a redeeming thing. But anyway, I just think he was such a brilliant choice because, number one, no one expected him to be the cameo. Nope. No one. Everyone's like, it's Morgan. I'm like, it's not Morgan. Ryan and I, it's not Morgan. It's not Morgan. And he could show up in the next one, I suppose, but I doubt it. But I just think that, you know, that was just the brilliant choice. And I love seeing these cameos, things like that happen. That's exciting. And, you know, even in Dead City, when they did the flashback with Stephen Ogg, you know, freaking hate Simon. That guy is oh my gosh, but man, that was so cool to see him again. So things like that, you know, even, you know, with Carol in Daryl's series, even though we knew she was coming on board, but it was still cool to see, you know, hear him talk to her, number one, and then to see her, you know, in her bit, you know, searching for him, which we know leads to more. But those are the type of things I want to see, or the mentions. I just loved it when we found out that Rosita had been helping Gabriel trying to get a hold of her. Had a hold of Jadis, you know, using Eugene, you know, they threw in Eugene's name too, you know, using Eugene's radio and all this. And when Michonne was talking to Rick about her scar on her back, and he wanted to know what happened. And, you know, she mentions Daryl, you know, it's like, Daryl, we were looking for you, you know, and that stuff. And those, to me, that stuff is more important than seeing this huge reunion of everybody, you know.
I agree with you 100% on this.
So I mean, that, you know, and I mean, I don't know, I feel like The Ones Who Live will be over, but I like Ryan's theory about us seeing you know, they love doing that. Give us this little teaser for something new. They did it. I guess Dead City didn't do anything, but World Beyond did. We got Daryl, you know, we got a little teaser of what's going to happen with Carol. And so it would just be very fitting for this to do something like that and tie into something else. What that is, I have no clue. You know, we know Dead City's, they'll start filming next month for season 2. Daryl Dixon's already getting ready for 3. Scott Gimple confirmed that. And, you know, so it's like there's still all this progression happening. And
which is crazy to me, by the way, about season 3. Yeah. We don't even have season 2 yet. And I was like, damn, that is a huge faithful move on the part of AMC.
Well, my thing is, I really like The Ones Who Live. I really have no, maybe little minor things, but the majority of this has been great. But I still like Daryl's series best. It's just very different. And again, this goes kind of what Chris was saying about people being involved. Norman Reedus is heavily involved, but they also got rid of all the Walking Dead people. Not that they're not good at their talent. It's just, I think they got kind of stuck in the Walking Dead, you know, just that same repetitive. I mean, after that many years, how could you not? So they hired new writers. They hired new, you know, all these new people. And there's some, you know, familiar faces involved, but for the most part, it's completely new. And that's why that series is so successful, because it's fresh and it's completely new, you know. And that's one thing about this episode. I think this is my favorite episode so far. We'll see what happens next on Sunday. But so far, this one's my favorite because we had those little glimmers of feeling a little Walking Dead-ish. Which,
and like humanity also.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what Rick and Michonne bring to the story. And but like that in Dead City too, that where Maggie was driving, she was driving in the woods in the blue truck, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is Herschel's farm, because they had that blue pickup truck.
Yeah.
And so it was just, so I don't want everything to be just rubber stamp The Walking Dead, let's remake that, but to have these little pieces that come in and kind of just remind us of why we love The Walking Dead so much, or still love the. I mean, I rewatch it all the time, But yeah, so I think there's a lot of stuff out there, and I know Scott Gimple has said that there's several things like on the back burner, but they wanted to see what these 3 did first before they push on to the next thing, which makes sense because you can only spread yourself so thin, especially when you've got multiple Gimple and Nicotero and Galen Hurd, and those, they're working with a lot of things, they're involved in several of the projects. And so it's hard, you don't want to spread them too thin, because then you will have weak storylines and that sort of thing. But
I want to roll it back.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
To an interview that I read about with Seth, and how he was saying, now The Walking Dead ended in 2022. And, when they were filming this last year, with his cameo, he said only such a short amount of time had lapsed and during that time. So it was easy for him to get right back into character. And he said that, like, if it had been like another couple of years, he wasn't sure if he would actually be able to get back into that mindset. And I thought that was really interesting, because I compared it to Rosita's actress, Kristen Serratos.
Yeah.
Her interview when she was saying that she needed to like be done with the character. So I was kind of like, it was like parallel almost. Yeah. I thought that was really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It is. Because I can't imagine. When you play a character for a long time, you get very immersed in that. But then, I don't know, I'm not an actor, so I don't know how long does that take until you cross that line where it's like, oh, wait, I can't do that anymore. I'm not that character anymore. I've moved on. And it was
kind of like, it's kind of like what Pollyanna said during her after the show, what is it, the Cast Diaries, how she was saying she wants this character to live with her for a while. So it's you got like 3 sides of it, and they were all completely different takes, and I found that fascinating.
Oh yeah,
I think it's a lot like when people choose to retire. I have friends who are like retired law enforcement, and they said like one day they just woke up and they knew, like they were like, time. You know what, I did my time, and like they don't have, I don't want to say they don't have the passion for it, but they might not just have the energy for it anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important part, because for the most part, if you are a popular character, the writers will probably keep you on indefinitely. Unless your death would serve some greater purpose within the story, they'll keep you indefinitely, And I think, like, in the case of, like, Kristen Serratos, she said from the beginning, I want this character to die. Like, I want to be able to move on, and I don't want there to be, like, any, will she show up, won't she show up, will she show up, won't she show up?
Yeah, she just wants it done.
Yeah, and I can almost guarantee that one day she just woke up and said, you know what, I think this would be the right way for Rosita to go out, like, protect the people she loves, but I think she needs to go, and I think that's probably more along the lines of how they feel,
Yeah.
When they just realize that one day.
No, you're right. Absolutely. And I'm curious to see if, whether it's in Dead City season 2 or whatever, if we get teased something for another show, who might show up. There's so many options, and I'm really curious to see what they'll do.
Yeah. And if they can keep things quiet, which they've done a good job with the series. But like, I don't know if this is for everybody or if AMC just blocked me, but I didn't get screeners for this episode or the next. So I don't know if that's,
well, we talked about this last week, but remember they delayed sending this episode out too. Remember that?
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. I never did get a screener. I watched it on AMC Plus Sunday morning.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Which is fine with me. I'm not one of I don't binge watch them anyway when we get them. I usually get my screeners. I watch episode 1, do my review on that, because I don't want to rush it. I want to do this in bites up. Plus I do, multiple podcasts. I don't want to be that guy that spoils it for people.
Well, also it's like you may be writing about episode 1, but you may accidentally write down something that happens in episode 2 or vice versa.
Yeah. And I just don't ever, but anyway, yeah. So, and I think, either they've snubbed me, but I'm sure that's not because it's in there now. Like the episode's available now in the the screener library. But I forgot to reach out to somebody else and ask them, because it was to me it was good that they did that so that things didn't get spoiled.
I think probably, in my opinion, knowing AMC, it was because Jadis died.
I think it's because Seth was on.
I could see both because
Yeah.
I don't think anybody expected Jadis to die.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody expected the cameo to be Seth or to be Father Gabriel. So I think those two things they wanted to be a surprise because everything else gets spoiled. Because I'm gonna go on my soapbox for a second, but it pisses me off when I see people posting these weird paparazzi shots of the sets. It pisses me off.
Hate it.
I know we've talked about this before too.
I mean, it's spoilers, and they're like, "Well, it's just no. You were literally trying to find things,
Yeah.
And it's just I don't know why you want to spoil the fun for everybody else because there are people who want to know spoilers, and there's pages for that. They have Facebook groups, private Facebook groups, and do it there so that if I want to join, I'll join and find out. If not, then I don't have to see it because even posting it on social media with your Walking Dead spoiler hashtag, it still pops up. I don't care if you have that blocked. It's supposed to block. It doesn't. I see them all the time.
I saw it on Twitter or X, and one of the first things I see is a set photo of filming, and I'm like, and I'm just and I saw one that I now know was when Rick and Michonne were by the yellow truck. And you see them walking, and I now know where that's from, but I'm granted the whole show was Rick and Michonne. I knew they were going to be together, but just looking at it, I'm like,
I just didn't need to see any of it.
What purpose does that serve?
Just because they want to be first. People just want to be the first ones to break the news or do the whatever they like. I don't know. It just makes no sense to me.
And you know what? And having the surprise of something is so satisfying. When I saw the hood come down and I saw it was Gabriel, I jumped up and I was like, "Yes, Seth, let's go!" I was so excited, because I love Seth. I've had such good interactions with him, and anytime I get to see him on the screen, I'm ecstatic because he's such a great guy. And I'll forever tell the story of when I was at Walker Stalker Jersey. I think it was 2018, 2019. I had gone by myself because it was close enough to my house, and I was like, I'm just gonna go down there and I'm just gonna see some of my friends, right? And I was there, and Seth had gotten in late. Something to do with his flight was delayed or something, and he was flying into I think JFK or LaGuardia, and then he was getting a ride from whatever transportation company to the venue in Edison, New Jersey, and as he's running in to go to his booth, which he's already running an hour and a half late for, I was like, "Hey, Seth," and he was like, "Ryan," and he came over and gave the biggest hug, and his manager's like, "We don't have time for this, Seth. We don't have time for this." He's like, "No, we always got time for this," and he came over and hugged me, and I'm just that was so cool. So seeing him on the screen, I love the fact that was a surprise for me. If that got spoiled for me, I would have been so pissed.
Yeah, exactly.
That was 19.
19.
Because that was the year I met him at that event.
Yep, that was 19.
But I didn't know you at the time.
Yeah, yep. I remember it was right outside of Jenna Elfman's booth. I remember that very distinctly because he was right across from her. Yep.
Because I had my poster and I kept trying to go to his booth. He's not here, and I'm like, I'm even excited.
Yeah. Nope.
I will say though, how we talk about spoilers and all that. Gabriel wasn't because I didn't watch it on Sunday. Gabriel wasn't spoiled for me, but Jadis's death was because AMC posted it a couple of minutes after the episode ended, and I didn't realize that it was that time. And I happened to go on Facebook, and it was the first post I see.
No.
And people are commenting on it the West Coast hasn't even seen it yet, and I was like, "Oh."
But but AMC's rules are that you can post any as writers, we can post anything. They give us a time. They'll say at 10:12 p.m. Eastern, that's when you're free reign to do it. So, I mean, that's been that way for years and years, which not saying that it's fair to, the West Coasters and things like that, but it's just one of those things. And like you said, when you don't know the time and stuff, but that's AMC, that's their rules. They set the time, and then it's free reign for everybody. But see, a lot of people, a lot of writers I've seen, like, why are they posting their spoilered review before the episode airs? And it's because I've deduced possibly they don't get screeners, so they're not in jeopardy of losing those. They just watch AMC Plus Sunday morning and then put out their review. Because I saw some stuff from different. I'm like, why do they have that? Because like we have a timestamp. It says do not post until this time, and I'm like, what? And I got to thinking, oh, I wonder if they just don't have the screeners because they can see it at 3 a.m. on Sunday morning.
Right.
So I guess that's what they're doing. And what's AMC going to say? They're not going to take screeners away from them because they're not getting them or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So but I just hate it when they do that. But anyway, what do you guys have any speculation for this final episode then?
I feel like the two of you really drove home your reasons why you think what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I can see all of Renee's reasons, but I can see all of Ryan's reasons, but I can also see neither of those happening.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of just gonna go in with an open mind. I don't want to go in with any expectations because I feel like if I do, I'm going to be disappointed, and I don't want that.
Yeah. What about you, Ryan? Besides what you've said, do you have any other like specific things you think may or may not happen? Or
I think I said it last week on the show, and correct me if I'm wrong, Renee, because you've got a brilliant memory. But I think Michonne's going to die, and I don't think, just me, I don't think that Rick has enough of a reason to finish the CRM. And I know they took away 8 years of his life or whatever have you, but I think that Rick needs some kind of tragedy to happen to kind of propel his anger forward in following this through. And I don't think he has that yet. And I happily ever after, and I don't think they're gonna get it. I think Michonne is gonna die. I don't know why, that's just my gut feeling. Nope, it froze.
Did you understand any of that, Renee?
a very little. You froze,
Am I
and
better now?
your audio
garbled.
Is it better now?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, I don't know what's going on.
it's like intermittent.
Oh boy.
It's like when you're trying to get off the phone, you're like,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but
Okay.
Michonne's gonna die.
And on that note,
That's my opinion, at least.
But I heard basically what I did hear was that basically, in essence, what you're saying is Rick needs something to push him to take over the CRM. Like So I think that's basically what you're saying, which I agree. That's what I've said all along about Michonne, because
this is completely wrong. But like, what if they take something from the comics? Because in the comic, and I didn't read the comics, I just kind of heard snippets. In the comics, they killed Judith, right?
No, that's not right. I thought you were going.
What if they do something to hurt the kids? Like the dossier, they don't find the dossier, and it gets into the wrong hands, and they're threatening to hurt Alexandria, or something happens, and that's what drives it. That way, they both don't die, or Michonne doesn't die.
My opinion is that I think Michonne is going to get Andrea's death.
That's what, right? Yeah, I read into that last week too. Mm-hmm. Which would make sense because that's the role she's in at the moment.
Yep.
So yeah, it's very hard to say. I think I watched the trailer multiple times to try and find some little snippet of something.
Yeah.
They're very, of course, it's all disjointed, so we have no idea what flows together and all that. But I love watching just the massive amount of soldiers that are at that Cascadia base.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. They're supposed to have this summit, so we don't know who's showing up at the summit. The big wigs, the brass, the whoever they are, we don't know who. Everyone's speculating who will be there. If it's any other group leaders we would know or anything like that. But just it's crazy. I mean, I guess with having those people there, you want your soldiers there to protect them and things, but something's going down for sure, you know.
I think
And
that woman from Daryl Dixon's going to be there.
that's what they were saying last week, and it's
Oh.
happened. How? I still, you know, this.
Yeah.
It took them 4 years to get that boat ready for it to come over and get the walkers across the ocean. I don't think that can happen, can it?
Unless they have islands that are in like, you know, islands in the middle of the ocean they have outposts on. I don't know. I mean, this is the CRM we're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe, but that's what I think they were saying. I think it was in the chat last week too. That was a discussion, was that she would show up. And yeah, maybe. I mean, I think it'd be cool because they would tie that in, because we've all been very like, oh man, they're doing some stuff with the CRM in France. Why would they come all the way to America to get walkers, you know, and all this stuff? So there, you know, it does appear that there is some ties there, and it would be very cool if she showed up. I would love that. I'm always, I was gonna think how it's like, I don't know how to say it in the French. Is it Genet, or it's Genet? So I don't know. Yeah.
Jeanette?
No, because
they say the
French
T.
don't have a hard T like that. I don't think.
Well, sometimes though, baguette.
Oh yeah,
I don't-
but that's
it's
double
not
T.
a-
That's not one T.
Yeah, right.
That's true.
So Genet, I forget. I know they. I'm
Where's
sure they.
Linda, man? Where's Linda? Come on, we need.
Yeah,
Linda.
I know. Yeah, we need Linda to give us some pronunciations. But yeah, so it would be really cool to see her, you know, whatever. But Beale says something to the effect like, whatever happens next is going to change everything. So I don't know what that means, you know. And I saw speculation because there's a map they flash up on the thing that they're still going after Portland possibly. I'm trying to think what other ones I've seen. You know, lots of fun theories. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, agreed.
But this is the fun part. We can speculate all we want.
Yeah.
And nobody's wrong at this moment because we don't know.
Nope. So
now, you know how they did for like the finales, like for like The Walking Dead, like there was no early AMC access. Are they doing that this time?
I haven't heard that. Everything I've seen says AMC Plus and AMC.
Yeah.
Not that means that it'll be early necessarily, because I don't think I've seen the. I'm trying to think where I can see. I'm looking. Let me do a little searching here, but so far I haven't seen anything that says it's not, that it's still going to be early on AMC Plus. But
that's because I don't think we're going to get the ending that people think we're getting.
Yeah, I possibly.
I might wait. I have because Sunday's Easter, I have brunch plans. I might wake up extra early just to watch it, just so I don't get spoiled.
It's only an hour early. I mean, you know, you only need an hour, so
yeah.
Because I looked on the screen this schedule for AMC, and its runtime is an hour and 15 minutes. With commercials, but that's going to be with the commercials. So
probably like
for an hour,
well, you said
57
minutes.
What?
Oh God.
No, I wasn't saying anything.
I was going to say with commercials probably about 20 minutes of an hour 15. So probably like 55.
Yeah. Yeah, because this one was 53.
Yeah.
Knows.
It'll be interesting, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because most of our speculations have been wrong.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they've been educated guesses, but the AMC's done very good at throwing curveballs.
I'm sorry.
But you know what? I'm really glad that everybody's been wrong.
Yeah. That's
absolutely.
I love to speculate all day long, but it's fun to be wrong because then it's a surprise.
Yep. Absolutely.
Completely unrelated. I learned how to turn off the camera movement.
Oh, good.
I was pushing the button. I was like, it's not working. And then I held it down. I was like, oh, okay.
Good job.
I felt smart.
So have you guys been watching anything else outside of The Walking Dead?
Still all my reality shows. The only scripted show I've been watching is The Rookie. What about you, Renee?
Well, I haven't watched it yet, but I just found out that Jenna Elfman is in the series called Will Trent. Have you ever watched that?
Everybody's been telling me to watch it.
Yeah, and So I've heard about it, whatever, but then I saw her, I'm like, I still haven't, because she's in the second season. So there's, so anyway, I want to see that. I watched Haunting in Connecticut last night because it's the 15-year anniversary.
Already?
And the funny thing is, like, I knew this but forgot until I looked at it again. So the main character, have you watched it?
Not in a long time.
Okay, so the young kid that had cancer, his name is Matt. He is played by Kyle Gallner, who was Zach in The Walking Dead.
Yes.
So he was the kid who asked Daryl. He was trying to guess Daryl's occupation before the outbreak. So I thought and I knew that, and he's in
all roads.
What?
All roads lead back to The Walking Dead.
Yeah, exactly. And he's been in several. He was in the Scream, the 2022 Scream, and he was in the remake of Friday the 13th, and he was in Smile, and he's been in a lot of horror related kind of things.
Have you guys ever watched Veronica Mars?
No, that's one of his.
Oh my God, that is such a twisted character. If you just watch season 2, that's the only season he was in. When like the big reveal happened, my jaw hit the floor. He played that role so well.
Yeah, I've not seen it, but I know like a little bit about it. And so, yeah, but anyway, so we watched that last night because it was the anniversary, and that's what you do. And then Greg Nicotero recommended 3 horror movies that he's actually had time to fit some of these movies in his schedule. So I wrote an article up about it because I was like, I want to see all 3 of these movies. So Talk to Me is one of them, and he just raved about that one. When Evil Lurks is the other one. And I guess Josh said it's foreign, but he said it's so good. He said, if you're a horror fan, you have to see it. And so now I got to watch subtitles, which I detest.
I hate subtitles.
Like you don't even know how many movies I've really wanted to watch, and I'm like, nope, done. I'm out.
Squid Game was torture.
What?
Squid Game was torture.
I can't even. Yeah, nope. And the other one is Late Night with the Devil, and it's going to be on Shudder April 9th.
Yes.
And did you hear its numbers? Its box office number 66666. And I don't know. I've seen it in a couple different spots. I don't know if it's 100% accurate, but that's what they're reporting.
Oh my God.
That's like a brilliant marketing tool right there.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, it looks so good. I mean, it just, oh man, cannot wait to see that one. So that'll be not till April. It'll be on Shudder April 19th.
Very cool.
Have you seen the trailer for that movie Civil War?
Yes, cannot wait.
I have my ticket already. I cannot wait.
That looks so good. Yeah, and there's somebody Walking Dead related in that.
That's right. I don't remember who, but I remember reading an article about it.
Yeah, because I wrote several. I'm searching. Keep talking. Go ahead. Keep talking.
Sorry, my dog got up, and I'm like, "Oh, hi, puppy." Oh God, I'm trying to think.
Alexa Mansour from
World Beyond.
Thank you. Yes, it's like reading other names.
Words are hard.
Yes,
words
are
Nick
difficult.
Offerman's in it. That's cool.
Yeah, Jefferson White, who is in Yellowstone.
Kirsten Dunst. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Jesse Plemons. Yeah, what?
Kirsten's from my area.
Yeah.
She's from the next town over.
That's funny. But yeah, it looks so good. I can't wait to see that one. And I think I shared this with Ryan, but I did watch Imaginary with Tom Payne in it.
Oh my God. Everybody that's been telling me about it, like, that guy from Walking Dead is in it. I was like, I know.
He doesn't have a very big part, but the movie, I love the movie. Like, I've read a lot of bad things about it, but I just don't understand people and their horror bars they set. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's got supernatural elements. It's not a slasher or anything like that. It's just like very thrilling, very suspenseful, supernatural. And there's these little twist things that happen, that you're like, oh, didn't expect that. Oh, didn't expect that. And it was just, yeah, I liked it a lot. I thought it was
correct me if I'm wrong, because I feel like we're getting a lot of horror movies right now, so I'm kind of getting a little confused. That's the one where the girl feels like she has an imaginary friend and it like comes to life or something. Is that the one?
It's a teddy bear. So the family,
teddy bear, yes.
Yeah. Tom Payne's family, his wife, and so his stepdaughters, the youngest one, they moved back to the wife's I cannot talk today. They moved to the wife's childhood home, where she's reacquainted with the stuffed bear that she had when she was younger, and her stepdaughter starts having an attachment to it. But then freaky things start happening. But it's so good. Yeah,
This is like Ted, but a horror movie.
yeah. But it was, it was very well done. And Tom Payne's not in it a whole lot, but it's just cool that he's in it. But yeah, I liked it a lot. I really thought it was really good. So,
is it streaming anywhere, or is it only in theaters?
I think it's streaming soon. No, wait, maybe no, I think it's video on demand right now. Yeah, I think.
Oh, I'll wait.
Yeah, not free streaming, but yeah, video on demand.
Oh, okay. No, I remember something I did watch. Quiet on Set.
Oh, is that what you were talking about, Ryan?
Yeah.
The Nickelodeon documentary. I watched the first episode, and then I had to like step away from like the TV because I had to process it, and then I binged the final 3 episodes.
Well, surprisingly, what I'm reading on the internet right now is apparently one of the producers of the show said that episode 5 is coming out in the first week in April.
Yes.
And nobody knew there was an episode 5. And people think that it's going to be a lot of actors and actresses who were child stars on Nickelodeon are going to open up about their stories too. And people are like, this is going to like blow it open like more than what happened to Drake. You know, which is crazy.
It's Nick Gate, Nickelodeon Gate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. I agree.
Welcome back, Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
So what else have you been watching, Chris, besides children's stuff?
Louie.
I watched Monarch, which is the Godzilla series they have on Apple TV. Because I want to watch the new Godzilla Kong. I grew up a huge Godzilla fan my whole life.
Same.
So yeah, I watched Monarch, which was pretty cool. I liked it. But honestly, just this. I literally have no time to watch TV right now. Between 3 jobs, the baby, so I squeeze this in Sunday nights around like 11. So yeah. But yeah, wrapped up Monarch. Like I said, really enjoyed it because I was getting ready and gearing up for the Godzilla and Kong movie, which I hope is good. I mean, I've heard mixed reviews, but I'm a diehard Godzilla fan, so like, and no matter what it is, it could be absolute visual trash, and I'll still love it. So
I'm tired of listening to reviews.
Yeah, -1 was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you had a chance to watch -1, which it was hard to hear, but there was ways. So I found a way to watch it, and -1 was really, really good.
Yeah.
Dark, obviously, because when you read the thoughts behind why they made the movie, Godzilla, when Godzilla was made, it came out because of the war and what had happened to Japan. Like, that's the theory behind Godzilla. He was a destroyer. He wiped out everything. He was a nuclear disaster type thing, and so that's like the premise behind him, and his history. So -1 was very good though. Obviously he's nothing compared to OG Godzilla, but so yeah, that's really actually been it. Yep. Grey's Anatomy. We watch Grey's Anatomy in this house like it's the only thing on TV. So that's always
there's a lot of it to watch. So
yeah, there's like 20 fucking seasons of it. So
all I know is her name is Meredith Grey. That's all I know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I love the first, I don't know how many seasons, and then I fell off. I forget what. Yeah, because that's when
season 8.
Once the main cast is gone, it's like what
yeah, that was I don't know. I kind of just because that was like, that's my favorite Jeffrey Dean Morgan character.
Denny
I always said
I love him.
Yeah, Denny just died. I think like last season.
What were you saying? I'm sorry.
Denny just died like last season.
Yeah,
that we were watching. Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
I always said. It's been
if you haven't seen
almost
Grey's
20
Anatomy
years.
yet, and if you don't know that JDM's on and he dies, then you're definitely living under a fucking rock. So,
you seem very passionate about it, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all that's on in the house. Grey's Anatomy.
I think Chris wants justice for his death.
Who doesn't? Look, when Denny died, man, I mean, I was...
Oh, man, I was sobbing.
Could you imagine what that show would be like if they kept him alive and kept going. Like honestly, I mean, I think it could have brought that show just to like a constant level. No, you don't think so? You think his death was better?
I don't think he should have died that soon.
Yeah.
But I feel like he had to die at some point.
Well,
Yeah.
I think, I mean, give them a little bit of a love story, a little bit longer than what they had.
A little longer, yeah.
Like, let the new heart kick in and then kill him.
Kill him when the heart is in overdrive. There you go.
Yeah.
I always said that if I ever had a photo op with him, I would have like a wire with the scissors.
Oh shit, the LVAD wire. You cut the
Yup.
wire? I know this
The
shit.
LVAD.
I know this shit. I know you don't cut the fucking LVAD wire.
So one of my
Everybody's doing
favorite
like Walking Dead, but yeah.
one of my favorite movies that Jeffrey Dean Morgan is in is called Peace, Love, and Misunderstanding. And if you've not watched it, it's kind of a rom-com kind of thing, you know. And he doesn't have a huge part in it or anything, but Catherine Kinnear is in it and Jane Fonda's in it. And it's just such a fun movie. And I loved it so much. He plays a guy named Jude.
What's it called?
Peace, Love, and Misunderstanding.
Gab, have you ever seen Peace, Love, and Misunderstanding? Ever watched Peace, Love, and Misunderstanding? It's with JDM.
It's good.
Okay, you're probably gonna want to watch it.
Yeah. Oh, Elizabeth Olsen's in it too. I forgot. Yeah.
I love
that's
Elizabeth
enough
Olsen.
said.
Oh wait, and Nat Wolf too. Yep. So yeah, you guys. Yeah, Kyle MacLachlan.
You need to lead with Elizabeth Olsen. Do you not
I'm
understand?
saying.
I forgot who I was talking to.
I'm a huge Elizabeth Olsen stan. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Stan, you're a huge Stan.
Stan.
Stan. Okay.
100%.
Anyways, everybody go watch it. I'm trying to see.
I gotta cling it on my youth. Start talking like the kids. You know.
Oh, it's on AMC Plus.
No cap.
Oh, perfect.
No cap. For real.
Oh, don't start. I will slap a fucking monkey. Like, don't start. I hear that shit every day in fucking
It
school.
wouldn't be the
I'm
first
too
time.
old for this.
I mean, the language, the way these kids speak, fucking unbelievable. It's yeah. Don't want to start. Anyway,
Don't get Chris started.
man, yeah, look, I'm not supposed to understand it, and I don't want to understand it.
Yeah.
But the fact that people understand it is a whole new level to me. Like, you know what he said, because it's like fucking deciphering hieroglyphics. Like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
I think we know what grinds his guts.
Yeah, I think we got that right, loud and clear.
Made up fucking words. Yeah, that's what grinds my guts.
Oh my goodness! So did you guys see the camp's cryptic tease?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they got something cooking there. So
I texted you my opinion, Renee.
Yeah, I thought that was
I
pretty
don't
cool.
know.
We'll
We'll
see.
see.
The family's growing, so we'll see.
yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
Just have to get our plug in for the camp here at the end, like we've been doing every week. And so go to thecampevents.com, find out all the information. The guest lineup is insane this year. There's so many. Yeah. And
If
yeah.
you love me.
So so if you've never been to the camp, you need to go to the camp because it's just amazing, and this year is going to be outstanding. The whole hotel is the camp. There's the parties are in the lobby. Like Friday night we're gonna have a pool party at first, then the pool party will come in. What?
It's about time. Like,
and
like a real one.
Yeah, and then we'll come in side for karaoke party that night after the pool party, and then Saturday night is the halfway to Halloween party. So I guess you dress like Halloween, which is fun. That works for me. But just tons of specials and they keep adding more things because as soon as they announce something, it sells out. And I don't know how these people are keeping their schedule straight. I guess if you haven't downloaded the app yet, they do have their app now, and so you can connect with people. The idea of it is, you can keep your schedule, and you can remember, okay, I'm supposed to be at where, and then once we get the panel scheduled.
Does the app have? Yeah, I was gonna say the panel times on the app.
Yeah, so it's going to be wonderful. Plus, the idea of it is everybody has a barcode. So like when you get to the camp, then you just hold your phone up. I'll scan your barcode. We're connected. Oh, scan your book. We're connected. that kind of stuff. So it's really you can add people. It's just not. It's a little bit of workaround, I think, to get that just how it's set up, or how it's built. But it's really great because and then when they have announcements, there you can get notifications of new announcements up or new whatever it is happening and stuff like that. And then they are doing their event in October in Orlando at Universal, which again, I don't think they've announced a lot of guests, but they've announced a few for that, and that's going to be a pretty cool thing too. It's going to be, it's nothing like the camp. I mean, it's intimate like the camp, the events that they're going to be doing, but it's not like the camp.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Also, it's at a theme park, so
yeah, right. So there's that. Yeah. So so anyway, they got a lot of good things going on, and so we just like to they give us good support, so we like to throw it back at them. So
absolutely. Well, we'll be back next week. Ryan, when?
Yeah, Ryan.
When's your new schedule start?
Tomorrow, and they told me today. So
we're gonna have to put a group text together and see if we can work out.
So we'll be back next week, but just watch because the day will be changed. It won't be Thursday. So, but we'll get it out there early enough so everyone has a chance to get in on it.
Look, if we have to do it on like a Monday Tuesdays, Tuesdays are so hit and miss because of work.
Yeah.
But Mondays, I know I can probably get in, no problem. Tuesdays, we just need probably a little bit more notice to work with.
My only issue
Monday,
is
I know Monday I could definitely do right now, probably, maybe.
If we're sticking to the 6 o'clock thing, Tuesday I can do. Monday I'm going to be cutting it close.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
we'll chat and we'll let y'all know. We'll have it all over social media, so you'll know.
All right, everybody.
Well, cool. I'm glad we were all together.
Bedtime in my house.
Right. All right.
You guys have a good one. Enjoy the show this weekend. We'll talk about it, and we'll
looking forward to it. Yep. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Renee, Chris, and Ryan going live. Best podcast, Beauty and the Beast. Sit back and catch a vibe. Oh yeah, we talking zombies and apocalypses and all those things you like. Going beast mode, and if you didn't know, it's Peter Z up on the mic. Whoa, hey, TWD family, grab the snacks about the pantry. Subscribe and like if you can, please, or those walkers eat you like some candy. Hey, okay. You at the right place at the right time. No one does it better, that's the bottom line. Beauty and the Beast, this is prime time. Let's go.